It is 9 o'clock. Let me make sure our Facebook live stream is working. Start this sucker. Oh, for the love. Error scheduling broadcast. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. All right. Hold on. My screen is frozen. There we go. All right. Well, welcome to the, Kristen, can you start recording? Or Eddie, whoever's recording? All right. Welcome to the post-convention Overwhelm webinar for Doterra Wellness Advocates. You are in the right place if you are going to convention and you have legitimate goals for your business after convention. So who is that? Who has legitimate goals for their business after convention? Awesome. So what we're going to do today, let me go ahead and give you guys the agenda. We are going to talk about what's hard about the period after convention. I guess we should probably just go over the convention emotional roller coaster. For some people, it's their first convention. And so we're not trying to scare you. What we want to do today is just prepare you for how to make sure you get off to a fast start after convention. Typically, one of two things happen after convention. People go poof and they explode, or people get really, really excited and crash a little bit. And the purpose of today's training is to give you some insight to prepare you mentally and emotionally for being successful after convention. We're going to talk about the purpose of convention, and then I made you a checklist. This is a checklist that I loosely go over with my private clients after convention. I make sure that, and just to give you an idea of, as a business coach, what I do after convention is I typically double up on coaching, not less coaching after convention. And so it's important that we really understand what's going to be needed to move into action and eliminate the overwhelm monster. We do have some training that's set up around convention that is designed to help make it easier for you to take the overwhelm and break it down into small places or small pieces. And so I'll go over that stuff as well. How does that sound to everyone? Okay, awesome. Trisha, your question, is there a printed outline? I do have a printed checklist that I'll give you guys that you'll be able to print, but you'll want to take notes the rest of the time because when you take notes, then you retain most of it. Kristen has my notes. She'll be able to put it in the chat for you to write down, and you can also just have me review it. Now, how many of you are already Emerge students? Most of you guys, yep. Any newbies? So we did this on the last webinar. That was kind of fun. Tell us if you're new to Emerge, you're a current student, or you're a fanatic. So you have to put in the chat, new, current, or fanatic. This is always fun. Yeah, all right. Okay, so we have a bunch of new people. All right, so shall we catch the new people up to speed? Let's catch the new people up to speed. Who is Emerge Sales Training? So my name's Tasha. I run Emerge Sales Training, and we are a team of coaches who's dedicated to help you to build a thriving business, a business with lots of happy customers and thriving team members. And so there's a few core challenges that we are setting out to solve here for Doterra Wellness Advocates, or really all network marketers. And here, a lot of it is the overwhelm monster, right? So what we do, so what does Emerge do? We help with core business skills so that you can run your network marketing business like a business as opposed to a hobby. So time management and business critical thinking skills and stuff. Then we give you the words so that you can help more customers. And we give you the words so that you can help your team perform at a higher level. Is there anything that I missed, fanatics?
Like a business as opposed to a hobby.
Uh-oh, we got some stuff. Who's background? Mute all. Find that. All right, cool. what makes us different than other network marketing training companies is that first of all, we are not active network marketers. And the reason this is important is because we have an outside perspective. We can look at it from a different angle. We represent your customers. And we are looking out, number one, we're not your upline who says sell more stuff or get more builders or hit your rank. We are advocates for you and our students personally. I think that's important. We're also a team of coaches, so we don't just like throw out an online course and say, have at it, good luck, have fun, sink or swim. Almost everything we do has a live component, and we want to make sure that you guys have the help that you need. Our goal is to take the overwhelming concept of running a business, a 6-figure, 7-figure business, which I know is a lot of people's goals, and break it down into action steps and words that anyone can implement. How does that sound, everyone? Does that sound about right? All right, cool. So I do not want to spend our time here today talking about who has emerged. I just want to get into the good stuff here. So the emotional roller coaster of convention. Can anyone explain it for us? Who can articulate? And I'm wearing my convention visor.
I will.
All right, who's that? You'll have to say there's 150 people on. Who said I will?
That was Emma.
Emma, go for it.
It's 3,000 everything you ever wanted to buy, all the new oils. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Where am I going to start? Oh, I hit my rank. Oh, I didn't hit my rank. Oh, my friends hit their rank. Oh shit, I didn't hit my rank. Oh, I'm exhausted. Oh, I sat down too long. Oh my God, where am I going to start telling everybody? I'm exhausted.
Okay, so who can identify with what Emma just said? That was pretty epic, Emma. You have that dialed in. Wow. Well, and my feet hurt. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that are awesome about convention. So go ahead and share out loud or put in the chat. What are all the awesome things about convention? I think Emma well articulated some of those really, really well. Okay, so Karen says, terrific science, so much oil, see old friends, new knowledge, education, excitement, social proof, meeting Tasha, what's up? Dr. Hill, Tasha or Dr. Hill? Probably Dr. Hill. Inspiration, out-of-town peeps, connecting to the culture, future of Doterra, watching Emily cry. She might be crying right now because you guys are on this webinar. I don't know. Good humans. That was a joke. Thanks, Jacqueline, for laughing. All right. So here are what I think. I was able to go to convention last year. I've been coaching people after convention for the last 2 years and after every major conference any of my clients have been to. And so this isn't just convention. This is GoPro, leadership. It's all kind of the same thing, right? You go to this event and you're in a bubble for 4 days, right? Maybe 5, maybe 6. And everyone around you is fired up. It is awesome. Convention is amazing because it ties you into your bigger purpose. It helps you to feel less alone. Would you guys agree that sometimes leadership is lonely? Right? Like you're in here, you're making the calls, you're doing the stuff, you're working with your team, you're working with your customers, but you work from home, right? And so sometimes it can get lonely and you're surrounded by all these people. You're reminded of your mission, your purpose, your community, and you are pumped up. New products are coming out and there's all the feels, all of them. Does that sound about right? Okay. And then what happens when the plane touches down at home? Now, before we start brainstorming this a little bit, I always think about this thing that the flight attendants say when the plane lands. The plane lands and they say, you're free to move about the cabin. And what's the warning that they give you as you go to get your bags from the overhead compartment? What's the warning? Things may have shifted. Go ahead.
Yeah, things may have shifted. It might fall on your head, basically.
Items may have shifted during flight. They might fall on your head and give you a concussion. And I think that's probably the most shift happens. Okay, that's funny. I think that's probably the most accurate way to describe it. You're on this flight, right? You're in an airplane. You are flying. Can we just stop and take a second and talk about this ridiculousness? That as a human, we are getting on a machine and it is transporting us thousands of miles to another destination. That's some crazy stuff. I know it's been done for a long time, but that's some crazy stuff. We are literally flying in the air, right? Think about how cool that is for a second. And then we get back and our Samsonite carry-on, it's probably bulletproof, falls on our head. And we have a little bit of a different opinion about the next 48 hours. And so let's look at what's hard. What happens when you get home? So let's see what the chat said. What reality? What now? Convention kits I have to sell. The crash. Real life. We're overwhelmed. Kristen, can you find that? Crash and burn. Let down. Lay on the couch staring at the wall. Massive overwhelm. Life happens. And all the items have shifted. See, we come back from convention and we have changed. Right? What has not changed?
People around us.
The people around us have not changed, right? Customers haven't changed. Our team members that didn't go to convention have not changed. Our family has not changed. Our friends have not changed. Our responsibilities have not changed. Is that right? And so what happens then is you end up in this place of overwhelm. So I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 things, themes that I found for convention. Kristen, do you have my notes here? You can copy these.
I don't think I have your notes.
I think it's how to something 30 days after convention.
Okay, I'll find them.
All right, so things that are hard about convention. Number 1, getting discouraged from not hitting goals you set last year. And why is this a challenge? Well, because life happens, right? We get excited. We can't go back in a time machine, but this is a reality. Number 2, we create a clear plan of, we need to create the things that are hard is to create a clear plan of action for goals. Last year in the post-convention goals setting workshop we did, which was awesome. It's the most popular workshop we've ever done. I said, how do you hit diamond? And do you know that out of 150 live people, no one could answer that question for me? But how many of you want to reach diamond by next convention? And how many of you know how to do it? Do you see how that creates overwhelm? It causes problems. Right? And so Christy says 4 silvers. Well, how do you get 4 silvers? Right? Like the breakdown. What do you have to do today to hit diamond tomorrow? Or whatever rank it is. And so it's important to have a clear plan of action for next goals. Another thing, the third thing that's hard about convention is how do I share all of the excitement of what I learned at convention with my team and customers that did not attend? How do I share all of the excitement of what I learned at convention? Who can identify with that one? Yeah, okay, cool. Number 4, what do I do with all the new products? What do I do? How do I address new customers and previous customers? Number 5, how do I get people to attend the post-convention events? Who thinks about that? Yeah, okay. Number 6, how do I re-enter back into life? AKA mom guilt. AKA mom guilt. Laundry, tired, whatever. Julie says feet hurt. And then number 7 is how do I personally digest all the information? Does that sound like a pretty good list of patterns for either you or your team member? Now, some of these may not apply to you, but do you think they might apply to some team members that you have going to convention? So we just need to be aware of these. Now, none of these are doomsday sentences. None of these are certain, but these are the common challenges. And once we know better, we can do better. I think it's really important that before we get caught up in all of these things, that we think about what is the point of convention. If you don't understand the point of convention, then we tend to try to create action that isn't intended to be created. Have you ever had a conversation with your spouse and you're like venting about something and then they go and like do something about it and you're like, that's not the point of what I was supposed to say? Has anyone ever been there? Right? And then the action actually causes more problems than the intention of the conversation. And everyone was well-meaning, but there was some miscommunication there. And so I think it's really important to understand what is the point of convention. And so I wrote down 5 purposes of convention to really get clear on. Number 1, to be connected to the greater purpose. To be connected to the greater purpose. Purpose is a core motivator for humans. We all seek significance in the world, and so we get reconnected back to our core purpose. Fills up our soul. Number 2, purpose of convention is to be connected with community. I believe we were created for community versus to be alone. And again, this fills up our soul. Number 3, purpose of convention is to build product conviction. Build product conviction. And there's a difference between a meeting to build product conviction and a training to sell products. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. There's a difference between a meeting to build product conviction and a training on how to sell products. Here's what I mean by that. Most of you guys know I used to sell knives when I was in college, right? And so we would do this fun thing at team meetings. We would take the slicer, it's for bread, and we would throw lemons in the air and slice them in midair like all good 20-year-olds would do if they had the best cutlery in the world. It was pretty badass. Like, it was awesome, right? It was so cool. We would take a cantaloupe. We would take a trash can. We would hold the slicer. We would take the cantaloupe and we would drop it and go slice it. Boom. One thing. It was amazing. We would take pieces of bread and we would slice them in middle this way. We would take the vegetable peeler and we would have contests on who could fling the peel the furthest. And we would give them free stuff. Now, did that build product conviction? Did everyone walk away from those meetings like, holy cow, this is the best freaking thing ever? Yes. Did we do those demonstrations for customers? No. Why not? It's dangerous. It's not safe. Not their needs. Messy. Too crazy. Not practical. Okay, do you guys see the parallel here? So somebody connect the dots for me. What's the parallel between cutting lemons in midair and how you land after convention? Are some of those words the same? There's a difference between building product conviction and training on how to sell products. That's right, Heather. We are throwing veggie peels at our customers. Right? We are slicing lemons in midair in their kitchen, and that's not what they're looking for. What they want to know is that they can cut, serve, and frost a cake all with one knife. Right? That's what they need to know. Right? They don't need to play happy birthday to you with the spatula spreader. Like, that's cool, but it actually doesn't help them. Guys with me? All right. So build product conviction, purpose of convention. Number 4, to celebrate and to be inspired by our friends who have accomplished. Number 4, purpose of convention, to celebrate and to be inspired by our friends who have accomplished great things. Not to compare and despair. And we're going to talk about some hacks around this. And number 5, to begin anew. Happy New Year, my friends. Right? The network marketing New Year does not start in January. When does the Doterra New Year start? Labor Day. Happy New Year, my friends. Right? In December, we're like, let's eat all the cookies. In January, time to lose weight. In August, let's go on vacation. In September, let's register for some webinars. Let's get this party started, right? Right now marks the Doterra New Year. And so we are here to celebrate New Year. How does that sound for the purposes of convention? Agree or disagree? Yep. Okay, when we're clear on the purpose of convention, then we won't create actions that are unintended. That's my point here. Now, before we go into the actual checklist, I'm going to need you guys, I want to just have some context around this. I'm going to start off with this Henry Ford quote. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I don't know if I'm happy this is the highest registration for an Emerge webinar or I'm upset. Right now we have a lot of people working and school started and such. So I mean, we've had more people show up live, but we have the highest actual registration ever, like 900 people. So why do you think this worries me?
We're planning to be overwhelmed.
We're planning to be overwhelmed. So I'm going to pull a little Karen Hammond on you. And we're going to reframe some thoughts here. So one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about before we go into this checklist is, are we already writing the story? Right? Have we already written the story of what the 30 days of convention will look like? Have we said, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen? Now, maybe you haven't. But if you have, I want to stop right now and I want to change the story, reframe that thought. Okay? So, if the current thought, right, because the hook was, are you going to be overwhelmed after convention? Click, 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 right? That's the thought. Now, I will argue it was brilliant copy, but, you know, that's besides the point. Okay, so what is a different thought? And thank you, Melissa, for the compliment on the copy. I felt pretty proud about that. Okay, so what's the thought? What thought can we change this to? The I'm overwhelmed, convention is here. What's a different thought? I want to be prepared after convention. I love that, Elaine. I will make a plan. What are some other thoughts that are more productive? I'm excited.
I'm excited.
All right, I'm excited. Convention comes every year. We're going to put in a yearly plan. I'm looking forward to celebration. I want to get the most from convention. This is better, right? What are some other thoughts? We can depend on our company. I will have a plan before. I'm curious. I'm confident and prepared with my September plan. I'm freaking excited. Matt, what's up? It's a new year. Let's do this. How can convention fit in with my awesome adventure? I'm investing in me. I learned from the past. I will be prepared. I'm excited about the opportunities. I'm going to immerse myself in better ways to show up, take better care of myself. I want to implement what I learn and keep the motivation. I can synthesize info. This is much better. Right? Do you see the difference in the thoughts? And so what I'm going to ask you to do right now, right? I'm going to ask you right now to write down 3 things you want to accomplish in the 30 days after a convention. Write down 3 things. Don't type them, write them. When we commit something in writing, we are psychologically more likely to follow through. What are 3 things that you want to accomplish? Because will it change at convention, the 3 things you want to accomplish? No. It won't change. It only changes if we allow it to change. Why would convention change what we want to accomplish after convention? If the convention purpose is to be connected to greater purpose, connect with community, build product conviction, celebrate, and celebrate the new year. Does our 3 things we want to accomplish, does that change? I love what you said there, Cynthia. I'm not here because I plan on being overwhelmed. I'm here because I want different results. Yes. Shiny things get in the way. But do those things really matter? Right? Does what we want to accomplish in our business change because of convention? Or if we decide ahead of time on what we want to accomplish, then can we just take our motivation into those things and crush? What do you guys think? Give me some thoughts here. That's right. Thompson says it should enhance it. It only helps you get refueled for those goals. But if you come to if you land from convention and you haven't set these things in motion, that's where the overwhelm comes into place. Business success is not a function of motivation or ideas even. It's execution. Right? Is the best business person ever because they have the best ideas? Or is it because they get crap done? Because they execute. You can execute a half-baked idea really well and get better results than someone who never executes the best idea. Trust me, I know. I think we'll have a webinar on this thing. Here's a goofy picture. Holy crap. Better write the content. Right? A half-baked idea executed well will always beat the perfect idea unexecuted. And there's one other principle that I want you guys to think about. I've heard this definition of stress. Stress being trying to control something you have no control over. So let's talk about this challenge, and I'll give you some solutions. This one that's really overwhelming. I feel like it's the root of overwhelm. How do I share what happened at convention with all the people that didn't come to convention? Who is overwhelmed by the concept of that? Okay, about half of you guys. Trisha's waving her hands. I can't see everyone. Okay, can I give you my honest opinion as a business coach? Just no. Don't. Don't try. The definition of success, or excuse me, the definition of stress, trying to control something you have no control over. So I'm going to ask you this question. I recently went to the Pink concert, and it was by far one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Have you guys ever been to a concert? Yeah, okay. Do you go home leaving that concert and try to duplicate the feeling that you had at that concert? Why not? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
That's a really good point, Tasha.
Thank you.
It's impossible.
It is impossible. Did anyone see Hamilton? No? Let me try to take you to Hamilton. I'm going to sing you all the songs. I'm going to tell you the storyline. I'm going to tell you it's the most amazing thing in the world. Will I be able to replicate Hamilton?
No.
Recently, I went to Hawaii and I got to actually ride on a dolphin. Can I convey that experience in a way that you will feel like you were riding on a dolphin? I'm not that good, Gina. I'm not that good.
But I think we want to convey the excitement that this is not your average business conference or, rubber chicken event. This is really a big deal, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, yes. That was Caitlin. That was you. I was scrolling to find whoever was talking. Well, yes, but can you convey it in the way you want to convey it?
Well, my question is, do you really want to for all of your customers? I mean, they're just buying the product. They're not really interested in all the energy and excitement that we business builders get from convention. And for our team that wasn't there, well, maybe you can gift them the replay and they can get the excitement themselves, or at least part of it, through the TV or computer or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I think that there are ways where we can share, right? That makes sense. I mean, I called a few friends. I was like, dude, next time Pink is in town, it is the best $1 million you will ever spend. Right? Like, I was like, you have to go. You have to go. And will I set a reminder when Pink is in town again to call those same friends and say, let's go? Will I do that? Right? Like, will I play a few more Pink songs before Please Recruit Responsibly? Probably. Right? Like, will it change me? So I want you guys to think about this great quote by Michael Jackson. I'm starting with a man in the mirror. Convention is to change you, I believe. Right? It's helpful to share thoughts and experiences, but this goal of how do I convey all of the excitement at convention to my team, I believe it to be an unattainable goal. Now, that being said, we can have an intelligent, smart plan to be able to get the objectives of convention out. Right? So the objectives of convention are to connect to greater purpose, connect with community, build product conviction, celebrate and be inspired, and celebrate New Year. Right? Do you guys see that? We can accomplish those objectives, but we cannot replicate convention with our words. No different than can I sing to Kristen songs from Pink and have her understand what it's like to watch her freaking fly around the thing after 2 hours of belting and come in from a chandelier. Like, I could show you a picture, right? But it's still not the same. And if we try to do that, then we're spending our energy in a place in a losing battle. What do you guys think about that? Go to the Pink concert. So what should we do? All right, shall we checklist? Okay, I got you guys, don't worry. All right, so now I'm going to go through this checklist. For those of you that are new, I'm warning you, I have many, many snarky comments in addition to this checklist. If you do not like snarky comments or sarcasm, I think that probably you should stop watching this webinar. Okay, here we go. Okay, Kristen is going to put this checklist in the chat so you can Download it. It's a PDF. I think it's a PDF, yes. You can download this checklist and you can cross it off. And I'm going to walk through it, give you my snarky comments, and then I'll open up for questions. Okay. So first thing you need to do is block off the 2 weeks after convention. My recommendation is to schedule dates with your family members. So what happens after convention with a lot of my clients is they'll come back and they'll say, I need to spend more time with my family because I was just gone for 6 days. Well, more time, is that actually an attainable definition of success? I believe that it's not. And so my recommendation would be to actually schedule time with your family. One of my clients, I recommended a clear definition of success. So she said, well, I'm going to take my kids to the park 2 times the week after convention. So actually set goals around dates with your family. Pro hack, Amazon, a Lego set 2 days before you land. They'll still be working on the Legos by the time you get there. Amazon Prime some Legos. Works every time. Then your kids start saying, when are you going on your next trip?
I'm sorry, I missed the bit about the Legos. What?
Send them
Was that?
Legos 2 days before you get home. Do you have kids,
Oh.
Trisha?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, she's 13.
Well, then that one might not work. But, you know, she's 13. She's not going to care as much, right? It's the small
Right.
kids. It's the 5-year-olds. It's the 6-year-olds, right? They're
Right.
old enough to, like, know exactly how to send a dagger through your heart. And so you send them Legos. At least that's what I do. All right. Set goals for new appointments, classes, retention events, might be make and takes, recruiting conversations, and coaching calls. The agendas of the coaching calls will be to help your team with goal breakdowns and manage their emotions. Schedule all of these before you leave. Second tip, set a budget for convention. Nothing is worse than overspending at convention and then coming home and feeling added pressure to sell when you've had a week off out of the field. You see how that's a pretty big recipe for emotional distraughtness? That's not a word. So set a budget for convention. Pack snacks, stop freaking out. Change your outlook, change your results. We talked about thought reframing earlier. Register for the Good Human Recruiting event. Hang out with us on Tuesday before convention. I totally have that whole thing written out, so it's going to be awesome. Not really, not yet. I will have a page dedicated to stuff Tasha made up on the plane, though. In all seriousness, we're going to do deep dives into who you are as a leader, how to onboard people properly so they do well, how to deal with maybe any issues we have or other people have with network marketing as a profession, so that as you move into 2018, 2019, you're able to set a plan to hit your goals with a team as opposed to alone. And then listen to the podcast, How to Build Insane Trust with Your Team. And maybe Kristen can put this in the email that comes out later. But I did a podcast a while back, myself and my leadership team. Melissa! Guys. Don't start watching the swag event. Don't start watching the swag event. I did this, I went with our leadership team to San Diego. We did this exercise. I think it's really, really important when you're at convention to use that time to build trust and respect with your team. And we did this exercise, which was just tell us the most interesting thing about your childhood or a challenge that you overcame as a child. Why do you think that's such an awesome team building exercise? I want to hear some thoughts on that.
You make yourself vulnerable by sharing some personal information about yourself, and so it can tear down the walls of the other people who may not want to expose vulnerability.
Yep. Yep. So in the chat, helps you see possibilities. It's about them. Sharing a struggle is a great way to connect. Intimacy makes you accessible. Right? These are the things that impact the rest of your life. Well said, Carol. So this exercise, which takes about an hour, I saw more trust and respect built in 1 hour amongst my leadership team than 3 days of nice dinners and spa last summer. Right? There's a difference because when we get to know each other on a daily basis, we just know the current, we don't know the past, and it explained a lot. And I just think that's a great way to spend time with your leaders. Now, some of you might have 30, 40, 50 people, and it's not appropriate for that many people. I would pick 5, 6, like maybe your qualifiers. And I did this exercise. So I did this with my mastermind last week. It was our first mastermind meeting. I was like, here's what we're doing. And so Neil was actually on that mastermind. So I'd love to hear his thoughts. Kristen has also participated in this exercise. And you guys can share your thoughts there if you've participated in this before. But it's a really, really great way to build trust and respect, which means when you get home, you'll have each other's back. You'll be rooting for each other differently. Does that make sense? Because when you get home, you're going to need that community. All right, here we go. During, attend the Good Human recruiting event. Become more confident in your team building skills and plan. Shameless plug. Okay, walk past the swag store. Don't stop. While walking past the swag store, call a housekeeper instead to do your laundry and clean your house. Melissa, she's like, that's not a good suggestion. Okay, now, swag store. I want you guys to just think about investments, right? What investments are going to create a return on investment? I just want you to think about that. One of the biggest challenges that people have when they arrive home is the laundry and the house. Is that true? Anyone have that problem? You come home and you have all the laundry ever. The house is a disaster because your husband took care of the kids and everyone's eating donuts for 6 days. Or am I the only family that has that problem? Okay. So, as a business coach, now remember I'm a business coach, not a Doterra swag salesperson. Okay? So you're going to have to take this from that perspective. What is the best use of your $150? I'm just going to leave that question there. Okay, you have $150 to spend. What is the best use of that? Now, if you have $500 to spend, have at it at the swag store. But if you only have $150, what is the best return on investment? Housekeeper, laundry, and takeout? Or meal delivery? Or whatever's at the side? I've never actually been. Maybe I have no idea. Maybe I'm just a big jerk. Okay, but as a business coach, I just want you to think about that. Obviously, this is your decision, but we already know that's going to be a challenge. And now everyone hops off the call. Yep, we just lost 7 people. Sorry, guys. I just want you to think about that. All right, come give Tasha and Karen a fist bump or a hug. We have ribbons. I am emerging. Chat with us. If we're free, we'll coach you. I'll be wearing my orange visor, which is why I'm wearing it today, so you'll be able to find me. There should not be any other bright orange visors at convention. And then this one here, ask people who reached their goals exactly how they did it. Take good notes. So have you guys ever gone into compare and despair? Right? We're like, all right, Wendy, man, she crushed her goals. Ugh, man, we had the same goal last year. She hit it. I didn't. I'm a loser. She's better than me. Anyone? Okay. So there was a conversation I had in an early coaching with one of our clients. Her name is Tara. And we talked about compare and despair. And we actually replaced this with compare and go from there. When I was a Cutco manager, there's a guy named Frankie, and he was not the #1 branch manager the previous summer. And so we went to the conferences, management prep conferences the following year, and he didn't compare himself to other people. Can I share with you what he did instead? He interviewed everyone who beat him with a video camera. And he asked detailed questions on exactly what they did, exactly what their preparation process was, exactly how they did it, how they overcame obstacles. And then he wrote down all the answers when he rewatched the film. Guess who was the #1 manager the following summer? Compare and despair, guys. Weak sauce. I'm going to argue. Do you guys know the definition of emerge, by the way? My favorite definition of emerge? It's to rise up as if from an inferior or unfortunate position. If you are an emerge student or a member of this community, my expectation is that you not compare and despair. It is that you compare and go from there. It's that you ask the actual questions. What did you do? No, really, what did you do? And when they say lame things like, I just talked to people and shared my story, you say, exactly what did you say? I'm recording. Exactly how many builders did you launch? What did you say to get them to say yes? What did you do? What did you say? What did you do? What did you say? How many this? As a member of the Merge community, compare and despair, it doesn't belong here. Are you guys with me? We will not. Right? We can be better than that. We can rise above that. Yeah, they say, I focused. So then, Caitlin, you say, focused on what? Exactly what? And then what did you say? And what did you do? And what did you say? And what did you do? And what did you say? And what did you do? Right? Exactly. Get it all. Get all the good stuff.
So, Tasha, you basically want me to pretend that I'm a small child asking a bazillion questions.
Yes. And record it on your phone and listen back over and over and over until you've beaten them. Not that it's a competitive against each other, but you guys know what I mean. Right? Like, find out the real deal. Because you don't know the story, do you? Right? You don't know what they did. We just say, well, my goal was gold and their goal was gold and they hit gold and I didn't hit gold, but you don't actually know the story, do you? Right? You know that whole, like, it takes 20 years to be an overnight success. And we compare, there's a saying, don't compare someone else's middle with your beginning. You just don't know. So find out and then make the change. Again, man in the mirror. All right, after. Don't vomit on people. Offer appointments instead. So usually what I do, if you've taken Emerge courses, you know that usually what I do, approach. Usually what I do is invite people to this post-convention event. Here's what the agenda is. Here's how long it's going to take. Is that something you'd be open to? Usually what I do is invite people to this class on new products and how they can further support your health goals. Now, a warning, as a customer on new products, for the love of God, please don't have an event until I can actually buy the product. It makes me crazy. My first convention, I don't think it was my upline, but it was one of my clients, was like, launch party, September 29th. And you couldn't buy till October 2nd. And I was like, what is this? Like, I can't even buy this stuff. And then the motivation roller coaster has gone. So my recommendation would be, you could do some teasers. But whatever your launch is, make sure you're ready on the day that the products are actually for sale. Usually what I do is set up 30 minutes. This will be a wish list appointment to review your health goals and chat about how to get as much free stuff as possible. And maybe some of the new products can be free. While we're chatting, I can go over those as well. And for your team, usually what I do after convention is to schedule a time to meet with each team member regarding their goals. How does that sound to everyone? Can you guys execute that? Who can execute that? Okay, do you need to vomit on all of everyone in the world for 4 days? No, no, the answer is no, you don't have to. Right? We can just schedule appointments or group appointments. Right? We can channel that motivation, be cool, and book that calendar like freaking crazy. And right now you can just say, it's the busiest 2 weeks of my year. When you say it's the busiest 2 weeks of the year, guess what will happen? It will become the busiest 2 weeks of the year. And say, schedule with me now because I know I'm going to be able to find great ways for you to save more money, great ways to support your health goals, and I know my schedule is going to fill up quickly. Caitlin asked, why not get them excited? You can get them excited, but like you still, I need to be able to buy it. And as a customer, it can be frustrating. And it's unlikely that you have the time to follow up twice. So I saw Avengers Infinity War last year. Awful, right? Yeah, exactly, Susan. And then it was like, and next year, and I'm like, I gotta wait a whole year? Yes, that works for anticipation, but it also creates angst and frustration. So just be intentional about what emotion you're trying to create. If you promote these things to me, get me all pumped up on September 28th and I can't buy them till October 5th, I want you to ask yourself, if you were a customer, how that would make you feel. Okay? Not as a salesperson, how will you manipulate my emotions? I want you to ask as a customer, how will that make you feel? And find a middle ground. Do you guys, this is just my opinion as a customer. I just want to be able to buy it. Get me all excited. Tell me where to buy. I'm all in. Now, if you choose to do teasers before, that's totally up to you. I just want to give you that heads up.
But could you do it as sort of an education event of, let's do a wellness consult, talk about, and by the way, there's new products and they're available next week and you'll be able to order them?
Yeah, I think that's different than doing a full-on like before you can buy.
Okay.
Right? So just look at the pros and cons of that stuff. All right, what do we have next? Okay, do a brain dump of all the ideas you get at convention. This is really, really important. So you're going to talk to all these people, you're going to get ideas. Okay? Write them all on a piece of paper. And you know which part I deleted off the checklist? Take that piece of paper when you get home and feed it to your dog. You probably don't need all of those ideas. I've had client time and time again come back and do a full brain dump of every single idea they have. And then I asked them, which of these ideas accomplish those top 3 objectives? And do you know how many they came back with that met the description? None. At least none that needed to be executed immediately. Some of them were wait. Right? But it is very unlikely, unless you come to the Emerge events, of course, that you'll have something that you can execute right away. Right? It'll typically take a lot of work. So remember, you have momentum the 2 weeks after convention. Right? So you need to move into action, not planning. So if you get an idea to do whatever, Facebook group classes, you see how that doesn't move you into action? It moves you into preparation. And the 2 weeks after convention need to be in action. So could you do a Facebook group, whatever idea you have, could you do it 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later? Yes. But you have to move into action when the plane touches down. Put the idea on the parking lot. All right. Gain buy-in from key people on your goals, family and qualifiers. We talk to our qualifiers, but we don't talk to our family, right? We come home and we're like, by next convention, this is what I'm going to do. But we don't actually walk through it with our spouse or our children and say, here's what I'm thinking. What are the pros and the cons? How do you feel about this goal? Here's how it's going to benefit you. Here's how it's going to benefit our family. Here's how it's going to benefit me, and gain buy-in. You'll need to break down your yearly goals and number of builders and number of enrollments. Both of these will be covered at the post-convention goal setting workshop on September 29th, so we have your back on that. Stay surrounded by other people who have similar goals so you don't spiral at your first obstacle. Remember, you have changed once you've gone to convention. The people around you have not. So you need to stay surrounded with people that have the same goals as you. So whether that's something through your upline, something that you have, something that you're participating in with us, you know, it's important that you stay connected. And then my favorite tip is to write in the impact journal. The impact journal is every single day, it's a separate journal. Whose life did I positively impact today with your business? When we arrive from convention or when we arrive from a high, we tend to start looking at numbers a lot, right? You can see here that I put like, hey, we're going to need to break down some goals if you're running a business. You need to know what it's going to take. But sometimes we get so caught up in those things that we forget that business is about serving people. And so the last tip after is to write in your impact journal. Right? Write in your impact journal. 3 people. If you impact 3 people every single day in the 2 weeks after convention for your business, will you have momentum? Right? Planning and preparation doesn't impact people, friends. Coming down, trying to implement a bunch of ideas and getting lost in all that, that doesn't impact people. Do you know the only way to impact people? What is the only way to impact people? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Action.
Action.
Serve them. Speak to them. We have to speak to them. We have to call them. We have to text them. We have to ask about them. We have to set up a... Man, I was on a roll. Son of a gun. All right, what I was just wrapping up. All right. Okay, so what were we talking about?
Tastes different.
We were talking about speak to them. Okay, so I muted everyone. All right, so what we were talking about is the only way to help people is to speak with them. Okay, you have to focus on the impact journal. Okay, would you guys like to know how we can help you with your goals? Okay, so was this checklist helpful? Was this what you were hoping for in a free training? Okay, so now here's what we have. So I'm going to show you, there's 2 options. We'll send out this recording to everyone just in minutes, so if they missed it, it's okay. So we have the checklist. We're going to email that out, and then there's a couple of things. All right, so if you need to talk to a coach, we just upgraded our tech, text coach please to 44222. It'll redirect you to Karen and Cassie, and they will get you all set up. All right. Okay, so you can go to emergesalestraining.com/overwhelm2018. Okay, and what we put together for you is a convention power pack. And it has 4 things to help you to reach your post-convention goals. Now, I know some of you might have some of these things already, And so just email us or message us. Okay, so this will be in the convention power pack. It has admission to the Good Human Recruiter event in Utah, post-convention workshop on how to hit your post-convention goals. So in that one, we teach you how to break down a yearly goal into individual pieces, and we teach you how to coach your team through making a plan for their next quarter. It'll give you a one-time 90-minute strategy session with either AJ or Missy, and the rest of the PDF Emerge Planner if you don't already have it. So this is valued at, I think it was $391, but it's only $327 if you want all of those things. Now remember, anytime you can text Coach Please to 44222. Now you can break up those things into individuals if you don't want all three. Here's the link for the Tuesday event. This is going to be all about how to build your team. This one is going to be how to break down your goals. And this one is a strategy call with an Emerge coach. So it's just Overwhelm 2018. Or you can you can just text Coach Please to 44222. All right. Okay, so we have some questions here in the chat. Any tips for people that are watching convention live? I don't think it would actually be different. I would still just schedule all the same things with them as if they were with you. Right? And we cover that full in-depth coaching call in the post-convention goal setting workshop. The PDF can be shared with your team members. We do ask you, Kay, that you at least have them download it themselves, and they'll get a recording of this particular thing. So I think you could just go to the emergeSalesTraining.com/launch and register for it, and we'll email it out. And I think Kristen will have a list too. The website to sign up for the Power Pack is Overwhelm 2018. Yeah, we all got kicked off for a minute. If you've paid for the Good Human event, you will have access to the recording. Everything we ever do, I just want to clear this up. We record all the things. So every time everyone's like, is this recorded? Yes, because it's network marketing. We know you guys have stuff, but we record all the things. So we've hired a professional videographer to make sure we get a good, clean recording. We're not going to do live streaming because we only have like 12 live stream tickets. It's not worth it. But we will provide recordings, all of that. The event on the 29th is going to be from 8 to noon Pacific. And can you buy the recording for the recruiting event? And will be less than the event fee. So I've done a lot of research on paying for recordings of stuff, and the consensus is it's the same price. We don't penalize people for showing live. The cost of the event is the stuff in my brain. That's kind of how we look at stuff like the planners and the courses. What you're paying for is the access and the simplification, not the room. So it's the same thing with the planner. So I hope that you're cool with that. It causes challenges when you have different prices, because then it turns into this whole like, oh, I can't go, can I have a refund? And I'm sure you can see as a business owner, that creates a lot of issues. So it's just the same price. The content is identical. We hope that you'll be able to come. We will eat the cost of the room. You guys are paying for the content. That's the way I look at it. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And don't worry, Lisa, Karen will be there, so I know she's your favorite. All right, any other questions before we hop off? Or any other thoughts on how we can help? Any tips for people with other jobs? I think it's all the same. It's just the planning piece. You just have to set your goals, right? They just have to be different if you work another job. I don't think it changes, right? If you're going to plan 2 days off, just plan 2 days off, right? You don't have to feel guilty about it, right? Just plan it. It's not a big deal. Like a plan a vacation. If you're going to plan 2 days off, great. If you're going to say, I'm going to go straight through, then go straight through. Like just make a plan and communicate with your family ahead of time on when to expect you. Will I have the planner to look at convention? That's the goal. So it's printing now. If we can get it to Utah in time, I will have physical planners, not for sale because I'd have to carry 200 planners. And that's not going to happen. But if we will have a few, the goal is that we have a few for you guys to look at. Lisa says, how does planning 2 weeks off right after a convention keep you in active mode? What happens is decision fatigue. So decision fatigue is our enemy as a business owner. So when you get back from convention, if you haven't already made your plan, now your head is swirling with all the things. So you can just step right into it and just move. Everything's already done. Everything's already planned. Because if you come home, so let's say you all come home Sunday, right? Are you going to make calls Sunday to book Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Let's be real here. No. But if you have appointments or classes or whatever already booked for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, are you going to cancel them? No. Okay? You're not going to make calls right after convention. So make them beforehand so that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're off to a fast start. Does that make sense? Oh, shoot, I explained it poorly. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, remember, just because you went to convention, does that mean that your mortgage is not going to need to be paid in October? Only one person knows the answer to that. Okay, the answer is they're probably still going to want you to pay your mortgage. Okay, in October, are your kids' sensei still going to want the karate payments? Yes. Are they still going to ask for the daycare money? Yes. Right? Just because you go to convention doesn't mean that your income goals change or that your income needs change. And I want you to think about that. Use convention as a catalyst, not as an excuse. Right? And Caitlin nailed it. Plan now because we will be brain dead. You will be. Right? It's okay. That's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be tired. Just book your schedule ahead of time. And I want you to ask yourself this. What would a presidential diamond do the week after convention? Don't ask yourself, this is mean. I'm going to be mean, so hop off if you can't handle it. Don't ask yourself, what would an elite do? Don't ask yourself, what would a silver do? Ask yourself right now, what is a presidential diamond doing the 7 days after convention? What do you guys think? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
They're in appointments. They're talking to people. They're talking to their team.
They're talking to their team. Right? And what are the people who are going to be the same rank next convention doing the week after convention?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Rocking back and forth. The future is not yet determined, my friends. Right? You have decisions to make and plans to make and execution to happen. Right? You can accomplish whatever you want in the next year. You just have to decide to do it. Right? And we already know the answers to success after convention. Keep it simple, execute the basics, talk to people, impact people. Right? The clients I know, they're not planning Facebook group post-convention party events. Or if they do, it's already planned. And they're going to hire an assistant to make the designs for $30. That's what presidential diamonds do the week after convention. Right? So if you want to be that, if you want to have those kinds of results, then you need to change your behavior to create those results. And you attending today's webinar, I hope is a great start. I hope you will join us at our live workshops around that. I hope you will take me up on the offer to talk to a coach, right, regarding whatever, whether it's sales training, leadership training, recruiting training, one-on-one coaching, whatever, right? Like, I hope you'll take us up on letting us be your guide over the next several weeks, because I know you guys can do it. All right, where will we Thursday at convention? In the lobby. I don't know. We have a Facebook group where we'll be posting updates. So just make sure you join that, Josie. You should have an email. Salt Palace lobby. Salt Palace. I'm on track B. That's the only place they'll let me in with a badge. So I need the badge to get in. Otherwise they'll kick me out, I'm sure, for all the ruckus. Can I repeat the 3 things? I don't even know what I just said. No clue. Sales and leadership training, we can help you with, right? We can help you with making a plan for your goals, and we can help you with private coaching. Next to the swag store, for the love. Oh, keep it simple, execute basics, talk to people. Okay, yeah. All right, you guys rock. I have coaching in about 20 minutes. If you guys want, all of this stuff will be on Facebook Live. You can tag your team members there on our main page, or you can send them to the site where you registered, and they'll get the replay and they'll get the checklist and all that jazz. So have a great day, guys. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.